wind to the hooky law, the hooky law, where the law law is the cow cow, and breakfast with Bob, oh yeah.
And Pancho Man! Thank you, Pancho. We are brought to you by ES Mileplex, Polar, Hoka One One, VeloFix, Normatec, Four Seasons, Walleye. We'll be holding our championship edition, and Amio Power Breather, our next guest, Mr. Cameron Watt. How you doing, Cam?
I'm doing great, Bob. Thanks for having me on your show.
So you are coaching under Brett Sutton, but you've got Sarah Crowley, Josh Amberger. What other athletes here? You got a bunch of age groupers too?
I've got a couple of age groupers here, but these are my only two Ironman athletes I have in my squad.
Yes.
Josh and Sarah.
And Sarah is sort of taking the world by storm this year, winning Frankfurt and doing stuff like that. It's very special.
She's had a very good year. The races we've had her do.
Yes.
She's nailed every one of them.
How long have you been working with Sarah?
Sarah, when I started triathlon coaching in January 2016.
Yes.
Sarah was my first athlete.
Really?
Come on. So we're coming up to 18 months.
And what led you to realize that she has something special?
I spotted Sarah in about 2007.
Really?
To be honest,
Yeah.
At the Noosa Triathlon, I like to study results.
Yes.
And I saw she didn't win the race, but I looked a fair way down the list and I saw this fantastic run, and I followed her for a bit, and it was in 2009. I saw that she was stepping away and going to stop racing the short course.
Right.
I sent her a note, and I myself wasn't coaching, but I sent her a note and I said, Sarah, you don't know me, but I don't think you should retire. I'll put you in contact with my coach, Brett Sutton. And I said, trust me, within 18 months, you'll be on the podium at the then Clearwater
70.3.
70.3. And I thought, well, that course is nice and flat. She was a terrible swimmer back then, but I thought she could overcome that. And and then she said, oh, thanks, but no thanks. And 6 years later, or 7 years later, she became my first athlete.
And she's really blossomed. Now, you said she was a terrible swimmer back then. What have you worked on with her?
I think it was week one. I took her to the Valley Pool in Brisbane.
Yes.
Quite a famous pool in Australian swimming. And I watched her swim for the first time with my own eyes. And 5 minutes later, I said, okay, we create a new stroke.
That's enough. Let's start over.
We didn't keep anything. We said, there's butterfly, there's backstroke, there's breaststroke, there's freestyle, and now there's this fifth stroke called the new stroke. And we started properly from scratch.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how long was that process?
It's still ongoing. But I'm very grateful for trusting me, because it took some trust, because it went backwards for a little bit, but she's never lost trust in anything. And as a coach, that's always the aim, to be able to communicate someone and gain their trust, so that you can get them to do things that they never thought possible, and to go backwards first before going forward takes a hell of a lot of trust. And Sarah, I'm very grateful that she's trusted me with everything.
What are your expectations for her? That's it, tomorrow.
Expectations is just I know it's a cliche, but just because they're cliche sayings doesn't mean it's not true. And I just want her to paint a picture that reflects the preparation and the effort and the training
that she's
put in.
Yes.
Yeah, and obviously having had the pleasure or the opportunity to live and train with all these like generation best champions throughout my career, like particularly the females.
Yes.
I kind of know we have benchmarks in training, and we know if you're hitting these day in, day out
you're going to be good.
Numbers.
Yes.
We know where that puts you if you execute on the day.
And there's no mechanicals, etc. All the rest of that. Yeah.
Of course.
So Josh Amberger, talk a little about him. How'd you connect with him?
My history with Josh also goes back even further than
really?
Sarah. So Josh and myself swam together and we were the only two triathletes in a swim squad in Brisbane, and so yeah, we grew up swimming together. Incidentally, that swim coach is Jan Frodeno's swim coach. But
he knows his stuff. Yeah.
yeah, so we grew up bashing each other up in the pool, and then just kept in contact. We lived close by, and I just got back from Kona last year, and Josh knew that I was back coaching.
Yes.
In triathlon.
Yeah.
I hadn't made the shift from cycling, and Josh invited me around. He said, I'm sponsored by this liquor company, and he said, come round and we'll have some beers. And I said, well, that sounds great. And then
that's a tough one. Yeah.
about 2 hours into enjoying some beers, he said, would you coach me? And I think I said no. Why would I? And we talked it over, and then we let it sit for maybe 4 weeks, I think, and then after that I could see no reason why not. He also saw no reason why not, and then we went to work.
And what did he have to work on?
I thought everything.
Really?
Yeah, I think I was quite harsh on him in his swimming, to be honest, because I knew him previously, and the first few sessions we did, I said, what's happened?
What happened to your swimming?
I was like, we'll go on quicker than this 6 or 7 years ago. And I think when it's very easy to rest on your laurels and not work on your strengths. When people constantly telling you, you're a great swimmer, and you're leading out of the swim all the time. And so I said, hey, come on, let's not relax on the swim. Like, we need to be absolutely prudent on everything, not just say, okay, the swim's sorted. So yeah,
everything. And when you look at the events he's done since you work with him, where do you feel he executed best?
I think Cairns is first Ironman. So our idea for this year was we were going to do 70.3s, and then our main goal was, like thinking back in December, our plan was to do ITU Long Course Worlds in Penticton.
Yes.
And so that's our goal. Within that year, we're going to hit some 70.3s. I was going to give him a taste of Ironman, and I wanted to give him a true taste of Ironman to see if he actually liked it and wanted the challenge.
Sure.
Because I said he wasn't at the level to be competitive
at that point.
Yeah. And so I said, well, where's the best taste? And it might be a sour taste, but where's the best taste I can send you to? And it was South Africa, because you had Ben Hoffman, you had Niels Fromhold, you had a lot of the Europeans, and so let's go there. And the preparation was a little bit interrupted because he got an invite very late to the Super League.
That's right.
And we're like, wow, this could be really cool. Let's just do it. So that was interrupt our preparation. He went to South Africa, and he did get a proper taste of what it was. I rung him after the race. I said, okay, is that enough of this Ironman? We just go back to 70.3s now. And he said, no way. He said,
I want another one.
This is what I want to do. And so, yeah, all right, let's go. Let's go to Cairns. And he executed that. Yeah.
But as close to perfect as possible.
Exactly, yeah. The exact race plan that we had, it was scripted. We scripted it before the race, and it happened, so he got the most out of himself that day.
It's interesting with a lot of athletes. You can come up with a race plan, and as soon as somebody makes a move in the bike, the race plan goes out the window. Finding an athlete that can actually follow the race plan and do the nutrition when they're supposed to, that's rare.
For sure. There's so much going on that a lot of these athletes are hyperactive. Like Sebi even said yesterday at the press conference, they suffer from ADHD. So when there's so much going on in the race, they can lose focus.
Sure. So,
but that's my job to train them up and give them the right exercises within the training to make sure that under pressure you're not swayed by anything. You get a puncture,
you deal with it.
You deal with it. That's what.
So Brett Sutton, one of the best coaches in the world, right? And he was the one who basically took Chrissy Wellington, who was trying to do ITU races and go to the Olympics, and sent her to sent her to Korea, and she wins there, and then she comes here and dominates.
Yeah.
Daniela Reef, who finished 7th in the Olympics, is like, you are better suited here. and she's dominated. What did he bring to your career as an athlete and then as a coach?
As an athlete,
Yeah.
I think I let myself down a bit under Brett as an athlete, but
In what way?
I think I listened to 9 out of 10 things that Brett told me, and the 10th thing was slow down, don't
overdo
do so
it.
much.
Yeah.
And I was too eager under him as an athlete. I was like, oh, if Brett tells me to do 10, then 15 will be better.
Yeah, of course.
And so, but I had a little bit of I think as an athlete with Brett, and it's paid off now. I was always interested, even before I was with Brett, studying everyone else around me, and so I had the great fortune to be in the squad with like Siri,
Yes.
like all the mega champions, Chrissy, I get Emma Snowsill, Liz Blatchford, like.
So you saw them all?
I saw them all day in, day out, and perhaps I focused on them and saying, oh. And
what are they
Brett,
doing?
why is she doing this? And so, unbeknownst to me of what my future would be in the sport, I was already doing my apprenticeship for
coaching
the last 16 years with Brett. And I actually had a period where I was injured, and I actually spent 6 months on deck shadowing Brett.
Did you have a sense at that point that was going to be your future? No, you were just
no
doing
way,
it.
yeah. But I just had this personal interest in it, and got to spend a lot of time with Brett's late father too.
Yes.
And it was just everything just sunk in, and that was my interest. Yeah.
So you have how many total athletes are under Tri-Soto in terms of pros?
Well, my squad.
Yes.
In the hill, we call it the Hills District, so it's
Okay.
a region in Brisbane.
Yes.
I have, I think, 8.
Okay.
So two Ironman athletes, Josh and Sarah. I have a few development pros. I have a couple of short course athletes. I have Felicity Sheedy Ryan, who won the ITU Duathlon World Championships this year. Yeah, so I have 8, but I think under the Tri-Soto banner we have eight pros on the start line.
How tough was the transition from being an athlete yourself to coaching full time, or was it?
Well, my transition from an athlete, I actually stepped away from triathlon for about seven years. So I went into cycling and quickly progressed to becoming a director sportif, or sports director in English.
Yes.
And managing a UCI cycling team. So I travelled the world, and that was the best transition to come back to
Absolutely.
coaching, because I had to deal with so many high pressure situations, and
You got sponsors, you got athletes, you got travel. You're doing 200 days a year. The athletes, yeah.
Exactly. And so I say, when people ask me, "Oh, are you nervous before this race?" or like, "How's the build up?" and I say, I just spent 6 years doing 250 races a year. I say this is
pretty much easy.
And I had 30 riders, so I'm dealing with, or in per race, we might have 6 to 9 riders per race. So
Yes.
I'm dealing with 9 people struggling with nerves or all those issues. So I say, hey, this is it was a very good apprenticeship to then
Yes.
step into triathlon, because it gave me all those. It gave me perspective on.
Now, had you raced bikes yourself?
No, very little. So I had to learn very quick.
Yes.
Very quick. Yeah, and and the biggest thing I learned, like within about 2 weeks, I said, hey, there's any of my experience in triathlon, I can't use any of it. Like they're completely different sports, and so I had to come to it with a different set of eyes. But with those different set of eyes, it was still using the exact observational skills.
Yes.
And studying personal or human behaviour, and using the same communication skills as Brett had taught me in my triathlon career.
Right.
I took it over to the cycling, and then
And it worked.
And yeah, humans are humans. They're all individuals, and yeah.
And the team do well, the cycling team?
We did. We had a great run. Yeah, we travelled the world. We won a hell of a lot of races, a hell of a lot of national titles. We had quite a few many world champions in our team on the track. Culminated in a couple of them getting silver.
Yes.
In Rio, which was
what a cool experience.
Yeah.
And do you guys have any Olympic athletes? Well, obviously Nikola.
Well, yeah. Nicola's obviously Brett's athlete, but that is something that I'm wanting to develop. But don't want to pigeonhole myself in just because I have some success in Ironman. My goal, and it's actually a goal that Brett put to me too. He said, "I'll call you a real coach when you can develop someone that wins Ironmans, 70.3, and
at the Olympics." Yes.
And he said, "Cam, you don't forget about the ITU because
that's where the Ironman guys are come from."
And he said, "Cam, you have more experience and more better skill sets for ITU than Ironman. It's just that we're having some success." So yeah, for sure, I want to develop the ITU side of my squad.
Love that. Cam, thanks so much for taking time, man.
No
I appreciate
worries. Pleasure,
it.
Bob.
And have a great race tomorrow with all your guys.
Yeah, thanks very much.
How about a big round of applause, Mr. Cameron Watt? Poncho Man, take us out.
And they're saying, hey, have breakfast with Bob. Oh, yeah.
Poncho Man.